My oldest daughter, Sarah, had a visit from her guardian angel. This all started about a year ago when we had a break-in in our home, and Sarah was home from school, so she was home alone when the intruders came in. When I found Sarah, she was hog-tied. She was tied her hands to her feet, and she appeared to have amnesia.
This amnesia just left me without anything. I lost my life, and I didn't feel like I had anything to live for because I didn't even get to remember the experience that I had.
It was really kind of sad, I didn't know what to expect, when I went over to see her that night.
Before this accident, we had grown kind of apart. We hadn't really talked much anymore. And after this, she just became my closest friend. She'd come over, she would help me learn again, she would help me with my math and writing, because I had to relearn those things all over again.
1 month after the crime was committed, Sarah fell down and had what appeared to be a seizure. It looked like a grand mal type seizure.
Sarah had been diagnosed as suffering from dissociative amnesia, a form of post-traumatic stress disorder. And it was during the subsequent seizures that the terrifying details of the crime returned to Sarah's memory.
I saw some pant legs and feet, or someone was standing there and they were holding a crowbar trying to open my window.
The people came up on the roof and they took a crowbar and hit the window frame to cause these cam locks to fall.
I became completely hysterical. I tried to dial my mom's work. The line was busy, so I tried to run downstairs and see if there was any keys in the house. And my sister had taken the last set. So I was dead bolted in, and I figured the only other thing I could do is go upstairs in my parents' room because they had some loaded guns, and if it came to that, that's all I would have. When I got to the hallway upstairs, I noticed I didn't hear anything else. I didn't hear any footsteps or noises or talking, and I figured that they had seen me run down the stairs and they left. I went to go look out the window to see if I could see a car leaving or something, and that's when 2 guys jumped out of my closet. The bigger one that seemed to be in charge grabbed a pillow, put the pillow on my head in order to smother me. I did get out from under the pillow at that point, and when my head moved back, I saw that the bigger guy had a tattoo on his arm. When he realized that I did see that tattoo, he became enraged, and he hit me in the head, and I fell over, and that's the point when I died. After I left my body, I found myself waking up underneath a tree, and in a place that seemed to be the best place that anybody could ever be. This is the place I call heaven. This is the place that I would definitely want to spend eternity. As I began to look around, I saw a figure approaching me, and it turned out to be a good friend of mine. He had passed away 4 days before. Ryan walked up to me and simply explained to me what was happening to me, and he said I was going to be okay and I was going to be spared for a certain reason. I had something to do, and he said he had someone to introduce to me. Shortly after, someone else walked up, and when we got closer, it was a tall man in a white suit and a white top hat who spoke with a British accent, and he said, "I'm going to be with you for a long time. I've known you all your life, and I've been your guardian angel all of your life." He said he didn't want me to be afraid because what was happening to me would be okay because I wasn't dying. I would have to go back. And then he told me I was brought there to rest and to gain the courage and energy to go on and finish what I was supposed to finish. Seemed like everything started to kind of fade out, and then I was back in my room before I knew it. When I woke up again, my dog was licking me on the face, and I didn't know where I was or who I was or how I got there and why I was tied up. I saw the phone cord running right across my face. It was sitting up on the bed and I was on the floor. I pulled the cord with my teeth and the phone fell on the floor and it got knocked off the hook so I could use it. I pressed redial because I figured maybe somebody knew me, and before I could panic I needed to get some help. When I pressed redial, it dialed my mom's work because that's who I called before the people came in. My mom's boss answered and she talked to me, tried to figure out who I was, and she couldn't tell, so she got on the loudspeaker and told all her employees that there was a kid on the phone who was in a pink bedroom tied up and there was a lot of teddy bears around. My mom knew that was my room, so she raced home.
Something occurred while in the presence of the psychologist who had been making regular visits to Sarah's home to help her regain her memory.
My psychologist, she was trying to calm me down because nobody else really could. I was to the point where I wasn't even listening to anybody. I was just rocking back and forth and trying to sing to myself. While I was talking to her, a light appeared, and it appeared as a circular shape, and then it came down to be a long oval, and that was George. And immediately I just stopped crying, and Sharon just seemed amazed. She said, "How come you calmed down so quickly?" And I said, "Well, he says I'm going to be okay. He's going to take care of me now."
Sarah's guardian angel, who became fondly known in the Powells' home as George, helped in Sarah's emotional healing and reached out to touch the lives of her family and friends.
In the next few minutes I was laughing. I just completely forgotten about any worries that I had. And in the next few minutes he says, "You need to take care of your sister. She's amazed and very upset by what happened to you." I said, "Okay." I came downstairs and she was almost as bad off as I was before.
So he had come down there with her, I guess, and she sat over on this coffee table in our living room, and she just kind of looked at me, and I looked over at her, but I didn't stop crying. It just made me worse looking at her. And she told me to put my hand over on a certain place on the couch. Didn't know why, but I did it. And at that moment I just felt peace, and the thoughts quit going through my head all at once. And it was just one of the most wonderful feelings I've ever had. And so she just looked at my mom, and I'm sure my mom was puzzled.
My mother looked at me as if to be in question, and I told her to sit down, and I said, "I have an angel, and he's going to be with me for a while. He's going to help us get through this." And she just said, "Well, okay." And I said, he says he's been with me for a long time, since I was a baby. And then I started laughing, and she said, "Why are you laughing?" And I said, "Well, he says that when I was a little kid, I used to laugh at him because he had this big hat that he always had to push out of his eyes." And she started to cry.
And Mark and I looked at each other, and I started crying because there was a time when she was 2 and 3 years old when she would laugh a lot, and we'd peek in her room and say, "What are you laughing at?" And she'd say, the man with the big hat comes and makes me laugh all the time, and she would draw pictures of him. And we were just floored by it. Then I began to think, something's really going on here.